remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions.
Well, Edward, wouldn't that mean that I would have to look at that glossary? And I have scanned it once or twice. I don't remember a thing from it. But wouldn't it mean that I would have to be conversant in it in order to speak with you and be what Joel would say on the same page?
Well, it's there as a descriptor as to what it is, how it is, the manner in which I use words. And if you look at it with any cautiousness, then you'll notice that that's also the manner in which I think. In other words, that's how my mind works, Judith. So it always surprises me when somebody has, like you, Judith, have heard quite a few things that I have to say, and they tell me they have not looked very much at that glossary of words, given the glossary of words to me has such a huge part of what it is that I'm talking about here, because it creates a clarity, if you will, between listener and speaker. At least I say that it does. Perhaps I am missing it completely. Go ahead, Judith.
Well, maybe that's knowingness, Edward. I don't know. There seemed to be some sort of a resistance for me to study or whatever, your glossary. I cared to converse with you and to hear clearly what you have to say, and I obviously have. Perhaps, maybe, possibly more when when my mind was occupied with a game and the words were just sort of bypassing what you had to say. I don't know. Tricking the mind, perhaps. However, there hasn't been a need for that glossary. It seems to me, I could be wrong about this, that I don't care to put my attention on words and meanings of words, having seen how that has gotten us into trouble in the past, and I know that your whole reason for doing it is to get us out of that, by using words to get us out of the trap of words. Yet, even without knowing your glossary, I still hear much of what you have to say.
Well, sure, yes, you do, and I explain the glossary as I'm speaking. Welcome back, Brian. Most of the time, and I guess it has been my observation, at least, that it's very difficult to listen with me. That well, it's just very, very difficult. I know Logan was in the room for 2.5 years before she could hear anything that I said, according to her. And that doesn't mean hear anything that I said as in hearing the words, but hearing anything that I said as in hearing the message that I was delivering, if you will. And other people have said that they would be in the room for long periods of time and be perhaps laughing at and cajoling and making fun of, but then suddenly something would happen and they could hear. So it means, I guess, that there's a level of, or a degree of difficulty in catching what it is that I'm saying.
Well, actually, there's been more of a frustration here when you didn't catch what I was saying. You would sometimes not repeat word for word, but you would mirror it back to me verbally, and I would think, that's not what I said. And I think that there is a possibility, I don't think it, I see the possibility that we've all heard you mention about how you go to the place of the speaker, and so maybe having heard that, I depend on you to understand what I'm saying instead of the other way around. I mean, it would seem obvious. You're the one that went through the transformation. Oh, dear.
Okay. Now, there's a whole lot that could be said about that, but if a person says something that is out of their confusion, and then that something is said back to them, then there'll just simply be a greater level of confusion, perhaps. But that's probably not something to get started this late, because I've got to go here in a minute. I don't got to go, but I need to go here pretty quick.
I don't know.
Well, you landed right where you needed to be, Judith. Perfect. You're sitting smack dab in the middle of I don't know. What a better place. You guys have a perfect evening. And life.
You too, Edward.